In this video, I invite you into a gentle space, one that asks nothing of you but presence. You've been carrying a lot, haven't you? That invisible weight sitting right between your shoulders, maybe clinging to your chest, making it hard to even breathe. Just for now, you can lay it down. You've arrived at a moment of stillness, a place where you're allowed to simply be. No demands. No expectations. Just breath. Just presence. Setting the mood. Thousands of years ago, another soul sat in silence, overwhelmed by the same heaviness you may feel tonight. His name was Siddhartha. The world would later call him the Buddha. But right now, imagine him simply as a human being, someone who understood the ache of sleepless nights and a mind that wouldn't quiet down. He found something profound. Not through striving, not through perfection, but through surrender. That's what we're gently exploring together now, like clouds drifting across a moonlit sky. Like your breath slowing, softening, settling. There is nowhere else you need to be. Nothing else you need to do. Just rest. Just listen. The Buddha's wisdom waited patiently across centuries. It can hold you tonight too. The prince in the cage. Now imagine this, you're walking through a garden, but not just any garden. Every petal is pristine. Every path meticulously trimmed. No leaf withers, no weed survives. Even the shadows seem choreographed. This was the world Siddhartha was born into, a royal garden of controlled perfection. He was a prince raised in palaces, 3, to be exact, each tailored to the changing seasons. Always warm. Always bright. Always comfortable. His father, the king, built this world with one purpose, to shield his son from all suffering. A life curated like a gallery, free of illness, old age, and death. But beneath this beauty was a silent lie. A lie we still tell ourselves today. Modern parallel. Does this sound familiar? We do this too. We scroll past tragedy. We schedule away discomfort. We polish our photos, edit our feeds, post our highlight reels. We curate our lives like the king curated his sons, trying to stay just out of reach of pain, aging, and loss. But the truth doesn't disappear just because we look away. And neither did it for Siddhartha. Prophecy and control. Before Siddhartha was even born, his mother dreamed of a white elephant entering her side, an omen of greatness. Astrologers later declared, this child will either rule the world or renounce it entirely in search of truth. Can you imagine hearing that about your child? That they might rise to power or walk away from everything you built for them? The king made his choice. He tried to tip the scale, designing a world so dazzling, so safe, so distraction-filled, that his son would never be tempted to leave. The bubble of perfection. Every morning, before sunrise, gardeners remove any fading flower, any yellowing leaf. Only youth and beauty were allowed near the prince. If someone grew old or sick, they were quietly sent away. Siddhartha was surrounded by beauty, but starved of truth. He rode perfect horses. Studied on golden scrolls. Shot arrows at targets made of flowers. But something stirred inside him, a restlessness that perfection couldn't quiet. The hunger for truth. Have you ever had everything you thought you wanted, but still felt a hollow ache inside? That was Siddhartha. At 16. At 20. At 25. He would stand by the palace windows, staring out into the world beyond. Servants would find him still there at dawn. What are you searching for, my prince? They'd ask. But he didn't know. How do you name a longing for something you've never seen? Maybe you've felt it too. After achieving a goal, and realizing it didn't bring the joy you expected. After buying something you'd waited for, only to find the thrill fading before the receipt cooled. The Buddha later said, the mind is like water. When agitated, it is hard to see. But when still, the truth becomes clear. But back then, Siddhartha's mind was anything but still. Distractions and discontent. His father noticed the growing emptiness and responded the only way he knew how, with more. More feasts. More festivals. More distractions. At 16, Siddhartha married a beautiful, kind princess Yasodhara. They had laughter, affection, and everything a royal life could offer. But none of it filled the space within. His days were packed: tutors in the morning, games by afternoon, entertainment at night. Every moment scheduled. Every hour filled. Sound familiar? We wake up to phones. Fall asleep to screens. We fear the silence, not realizing it might hold what we've been searching for all along. The turning point. At 29, Siddhartha became a father. Holding his newborn son, he should have felt joy. Instead, he felt a wave of fear. Because in his child's eyes, he saw the truth he could no longer ignore. To be continued. And so began the unraveling. But that part of the story is for another night. For now, just remember this. Even in a palace, the soul can feel imprisoned. Even in beauty, the spirit may still long for truth. And sometimes, it's in letting go, not adding more, where we finally begin to feel free. So breathe. You're not alone in your searching. You never were. There he stood, future king, proud father, surrounded by every comfort. And yet, Siddhartha felt no peace. Because in the quiet of that nursery, something became unmistakably clear. Even this perfect life could not protect his son from pain, sickness, aging, or death. That night, the illusions his father built began to crack. He had to see what was beyond the palace walls, not stories, not filtered truths, but the real world. And so, for the first time, he asked to go outside the palace grounds. The king hesitated, but agreed, carefully selecting the route, instructing servants to hide anything unpleasant from view. But life, as it always does, refused to stay hidden. The four sights. On his journey through the city, Siddhartha encountered four things that would change him forever. First, he saw an old man, stooped, frail, his hands trembling with time. "What is wrong with him?" Siddhartha asked. "He is old, my lord," the charioteer said. "Will I grow old too?" "Yes, my prince. All must age." His world tilted. This had never occurred to him. Next, they passed a sick man, fevered and suffering, lying on the side of the road. "Why is he in pain?" "He is ill," came the answer. "Can anyone escape this?" "No, my prince. Illness can touch us all." Then, they saw a body being carried to a funeral pyre. Siddhartha's heart pounded. "What is this?" "This, my lord, is death." And for the first time in his life, the prince realized. No matter how beautiful the garden, death still enters the gate. A glimpse of hope. But the fourth sight was different. In the midst of all this suffering, he saw a wandering ascetic, a man who owned nothing, had no home, no wealth, yet walked with peace in his eyes and calm in his steps. Who is he? He is a seeker, my lord. One who has left everything behind to find truth. In that moment, Siddhartha felt a stirring deeper than he had ever known. That was the path he had been searching for. The path not of escape, but of understanding. Not luxury, not denial, but truth, the great renunciation. That night, Siddhartha returned to the palace, but nothing felt the same. He kissed his sleeping wife. He looked one last time at his son. And then, he walked away. Not out of abandonment, but out of profound love. Because he knew that unless he discovered a way beyond suffering, they too would remain trapped in the cycle. He exchanged his silks for simple robes. Traded his crown for a begging bowl. And stepped into the unknown. The prince became a pilgrim. The quest for truth. For 6 long years, Siddhartha wandered, studying with the strictest teachers, practicing harsh disciplines, fasting until he nearly died. He sought enlightenment in deprivation, but still, it eluded him. Until one day, collapsing under a tree near death, he realized. Truth doesn't arrive through punishment or pleasure. It comes through balance. The middle way. Not indulgence, not self-denial, but the quiet space in between. That night, he sat beneath the Bodhi tree and vowed not to rise until he found what he had been seeking. Enlightenment. The night deepened. Temptations came, fear, doubt, memories, but he remained still. And as the dawn broke, so did the illusion. He awoke. To the truth of suffering. To the path beyond it. To the deep, silent knowing that has echoed through centuries since. Siddhartha became the Buddha, the awakened one. Returning to us. And now, that wisdom returns to you. Not as a sermon. Not as a command. But as a whisper in the stillness. You too can awaken. You too can pause beneath your own tree of questioning. Not by leaving your life behind, but by seeing it more clearly. By letting go of the masks. By finding balance in the middle of extremes. By breathing into this moment fully and without judgment. Closing thought. So rest now. Let your shoulders drop. Let your thoughts pass like leaves on water. You don't need to have all the answers tonight. You don't need to fix anything. Just be. You are not lost. You are awakening. And here at Moon Mind Temple, we'll be waiting whenever you're ready to return. Gentle reflection and modern application. The Buddha didn't stay beneath that tree. He didn't vanish into the mountains. He returned. Back to the villages, back to the people, back to the noise, the pain, and the beauty of ordinary life. He returned, not as a prince or a god, but as a teacher. Not to dominate, but to guide. Not to preach escape, but to offer a path toward peace within the very lives we live. And that's the invitation still offered to you and me. You don't have to run away to seek stillness. You don't need a monastery or a forest to meet yourself. You just need a pause. A breath. A moment like this one. You are not behind. If you felt lost, you're not alone. If you've been chasing things that haven't brought peace, you haven't failed. You're human. Just like Siddhartha was. And like him, you can choose differently, beginning not tomorrow, but now. Not with a grand decision, but with a simple awareness. That beneath all the striving, there is a calm center. A quiet knowing. A deeper self that has always been waiting for you to return. Closing invitation. So come back to this space whenever the world feels heavy. When the palace feels too polished and too empty. When your mind spins and your breath catches. Come back. Not for answers, but for rest. Not to solve life, but to sit with it. Because here, in this gentle stillness, you are already enough. Final moments, outro. Thank you for sharing this moment with us at Moon Mind Temple. If this journey resonated with you, consider staying connected. Through your breath, your presence, or perhaps, through returning here again. May peace walk beside you. May clarity rise within you. And may you never forget you are not alone in your seeking. We'll be here. Whenever you need stillness to find you again. Namaste. And good night.